Let me tell you something nobody puts in the job listing. The loneliness is not a side effect. It is the job. My name is Marcus Hale. I've been driving freight for 11 years, 8 of them on the night circuit. I leave at 10 p.m., drive until somewhere between 4 and 7 a.m. depending on the load, drop the freight, and get back before most people are awake. My route runs between central Ohio and the Pennsylvania line, about 340 miles round trip, through interstate, state highway, and the kind of rural access roads that only make sense to dispatchers and county maps. I drive a 2019 Freightliner Cascadia. I know this truck better than I know most people. I know the mirror vibration at 67 miles per hour, the heater cycle when temperatures drop below freezing, the way the dashboard light on the fuel gauge flickers twice before it settles. I say that because what I'm about to describe was not fatigue, distraction, or inexperience. I know my route, or I thought I did. My shift starts at the depot in Marysville at 9:45 p.m. I do the walk-around inspection, sign the manifest, pour bad coffee from my thermos, and pull out by 10:05 most nights. Dispatch comes through a tablet mounted on the dash. I check it at the depot, glance at it at stops, and otherwise leave it alone. That night started normal. I should also mention the sound of night driving because it matters here. The cab is never truly quiet. There's tire noise, the soft rattle of cargo shifting just enough to remind you it's there, the heater kicking on and off, the occasional hiss from the vents. On normal routes, those sounds become background. You stop noticing them. That night on County Road 7, the truck felt too quiet. Not silent, just wrong in a way I couldn't explain until later. This happened 9 days ago, Tuesday into Wednesday morning. The load was standard, mixed commercial freight, 2 drops. First stop was a restaurant supply warehouse in Zanesville, a place I've delivered to dozens of times. Second stop was a cold storage facility outside a small town called Denison. The address on the manifest read, County Road 7 Spur, Denison, Ohio, 44621. The name looked odd, but rural roads have their own logic, so I made a note to check the GPS when I got closer. First drop in Zanesville was clean, in by 1:20 a.m., out by 2:05. The warehouse guys were quiet. I signed the partial manifest, they unloaded the first half, I sealed the trailer, and I was back on the road by 2:12. That's when I entered the second address into the tablet. The GPS loaded instantly, no hesitation. A blue line appeared, routing me off US 36, then south onto County Road 7, then onto a spur extension. 3:44 a.m. Everything looked normal. I followed the route. County Road 7 is a 2-lane blacktop through flat farmland. No streetlights after the first half mile. Just fields, tree lines, and darkness so complete your headlights feel like the only thing left in the world. What I noticed first was the radio. I usually keep talk radio on low volume. Somewhere around mile 3, the signal dropped out completely. Not static, just silence. I turned it off. The GPS kept moving. A little blue arrow, steady and calm. Half a mile to the turn. I made the right onto the spur. It was unpaved gravel, wide enough for the truck, trees closing in on both sides. I slowed to 20 miles an hour. The GPS showed 0.4 miles to destination. I drove 0.4 miles, then 0.5, then 0.6. I've driven enough rural roads to know when something feels off. At first I thought the GPS had simply misread the distance, but the road itself began to feel wrong. The gravel looked fresh in the headlight beam, too pale, almost like it had been laid down recently, and there were no tire tracks ahead of me, no house lights, no barns, no utility poles, just trees and the dark line of road disappearing into them. The GPS said, arriving at destination. There was nothing in front of me except gravel road, trees, and dark. No building, no loading dock, no gate, no sign. I stopped the truck with the engine running and the headlights on. The tablet still showed the pin exactly where I was sitting. County Road 7 Spur, cold storage facility. I checked my personal phone for the address. No results. I'm practical. My first thought was that dispatch had messed up the address. Wrong spelling, wrong pin, Maybe a new facility that hadn't updated its records yet. It happens. I called the after-hours dispatch line at 3:51 a.m. Teresa answered. I've spoken to her maybe a dozen times over the years. I explained the situation. Second delivery address, GPS confirmed location, nothing physically there. She put me on hold. When she came back, her voice was calm, but there was a half-second pause before she spoke. Marcus, the manifest shows that delivery as completed. I asked her to repeat it. The system shows the second drop completed at 3:44 a.m. Timestamp and GPS confirmation both logged. It was 3:52 a.m. I hadn't moved. The trailer seal behind me was still intact. I told her that. I'm flagging this for the morning supervisor. For now, the system shows a completed drop. Can you head back to the depot? I asked what was in the second part of the load. She said she couldn't access item-level details from her terminal. I drove back. I reached the depot at 5:38 a.m. The yard was just waking up. I went straight to the trailer and broke the seal myself. The second half of the load was gone. Empty trailer, clean floor, no debris, no drag marks. It looked like the freight had never been there. I filed a full incident report. Theft of freight, unverified delivery location, system discrepancy. The morning supervisor, Dale, read it twice, asked me 4 questions, then said something I haven't been able to forget. This is the third report like this in 8 months. I asked him what the other 2 said. He closed the folder and told me to go home and sleep. I couldn't sleep, so I looked up County Road 7 in Tuscarawas County. The road exists. It runs south off US 36 where the GPS showed it. County Road 7 spur does not exist. It's not on the county map, the surveyor's records, or any historical listing I could find. The road index skips from CR7 to CR7A on the other side of the township. There is no registered cold storage facility at that address. No business record, no permit, nothing. I called the sheriff's non-emergency line and reported the freight issue. The deputy took my information, gave me a case number, and said someone would follow up within 48 hours. That was 9 days ago. No one has followed up. I drove the route again last night. I don't know why. I needed to know whether the road was real, whether I had really been there, whether I could connect the experience to something physical. I turned onto County Road 7 at 2:30 a.m. I reached the place where the spur should have started. It wasn't there. On the right side of the road, there was just a continuous tree line. No gravel break, no opening, no road. I pulled over and sat there with the engine running. The radio signal was fine this time. I looked at the tree line for a long time. It felt like waiting for something I already knew was not going to happen. Then I checked my dash cam from 9 days ago. The camera covers front and rear. I found the timestamp, 3:38 a.m., and watched myself turn right off County Road 7. The footage showed the gravel road, the trees on both sides, my headlights cutting into the dark. Then, at 3:44 a.m., exactly when the GPS said I was arriving, the footage cuts. Not static, not corruption, a cut. One frame the road is there. The next frame I'm sitting on the same road, from the same angle, but the timestamp reads 3:52 a.m., 8 minutes gone. The trailer seal indicator in the 3:52 footage reads, open. In every frame before 3:44, it reads, sealed. I have not reported this yet. I don't know who to report it to. I'm still driving the night circuit. The company hasn't contacted me since that morning. I check my manifest carefully now before every shift. 2 nights ago, there was a third drop listed. County Road 7 Spur, Denison, Ohio, 44621. I called dispatch and told them the address was wrong. They said the address had been removed, that it was never on my manifest. I have the screenshot on my phone, time-stamped, 9:47 p.m. I have not driven that road again. I don't know what was taken from that trailer. I don't know what happened in those 8 minutes. And I don't know why the system logged a delivery at a place that does not exist. Dale said this was the third report in 8 months. That means there are 2 other drivers who know what County Road 7 feels like at 3:44 in the morning, and neither of them has posted about it. Posted to r/truckers, long haul experiences. Account age, 3 years. 847 Karma. Verified flare. CDLA driver, Ohio. Update, 6 hours after original post. Someone DM'd me. Said they drove the same corridor 8 months ago. Same address, same GPS confirmation, same empty trailer. They said they never filed a report because by the time they got back to the depot, the manifest showed the delivery completed and the load was logged as received. They said one more thing. Their dash cam footage from that night was gone. The entire 72-hour loop had been overwritten. They said their truck had not moved in 4 days. I'm not posting further updates. I've saved everything locally. Drive safe out there.